Well, the weekend is over, but the analysis of the sadness that was last Saturday is not.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama. Luke Robinson, that's me. Jimmy Stein, that's him. Jimmy, I know everybody's still sad. That game was like Sylvia Plath reading Old Yeller to a broken down bus full of orphans. I mean, that was sad, just sad. There was,
but also so funny because that was funny.
But you know, you rewatched the first quarter. I've said I'm on record 100%. I will not rewatch this game. Now I may see some highlights. I can't rewatch it because I get too angry because I know what's coming. So I'm gonna just not do that and leave the rewatching up to you. So you rewatched the first quarter. What did you see?
I was encouraged by a couple things, but keep in mind this was a weird four-quarter game. The first quarter was unlike the rest of the game, and with that, I'm a little encouraged actually. And what I mean by that is, just the first quarter alone. I'm not talking about anything. I'm talking about the first quarter. And really the first quarter, by the way, was only 2 possessions for Alabama and 2 possessions for Texas. And the first quarter basically ended 3-3. Now, Alabama kicked a field goal to start the second quarter, so I'm counting that. But the first quarter plus 1 play ended 3-3 with both teams having 2 possessions. I think if you were scoring it like it's a boxing match, Alabama won that first quarter by a 10-9 decision. For those of you who know boxing well, Alabama didn't blow them out, or I think Alabama just won the first quarter for a few reasons. But number one being, it's 3-3, and Texas scored their points because of Alabama's turnover. The biggest play of the first quarter that helped decide the first quarter was Jalen Milroe's first interception. It was bad. It was bad. He did not see. I think Jermaine Burton he kind of locked on. He does that. He locks on to a receiver. Very common with young, inexperienced quarterbacks. It's kind of like a security blanket. He locks onto that first receiver. When Jermaine Burton made his cut, Milroe threw it, which was smart. It was smart because he kind of threw it when Burton was making that cut, and maybe it was a good throw, other than the fact he did not see the safety that was kind of baiting this. The safety saw this coming and baited him into it, and Milroe just never saw that guy, and he jumped it, and just a good play by Texas and a really poor play by Jalen Milroe that gave Texas points. Texas started that drive on Alabama's 30-yard line. The goal at that point was, okay, hold them to 3, and the defense did. And on the other Texas possession, they forced a punt. So the defense played well on those first 2 drives, pretty well. I was really impressed, Luke, by the physicality up front. It was a really good performance by the front 7, particularly the defensive line. Tim Smith made 2 really good plays in the first quarter, even to the point I had to rewind and go, okay, this is 50, right? That's 50. 2 good plays by Tim Smith. Good plays also by Tim Keenan. My buddy at BOL, Clint Lamb, BOL, he did a great breakdown of the snaps played in the first quarter. And again, funny that I did the first quarter, he did the first quarter, but he did a snaps played thing. Tim Keenan played more snaps than any defensive lineman in the first quarter, which is interesting. But Keenan did well. The linebackers did well. Lawson and Marshall both had a really good quarter. And while Ewers did not make a lot of plays, what was bad? Pass rush, total lack of a pass rush, but Ewers didn't do too much. Not the first quarter. There weren't big plays by Ewers taking advantage of the lack of pass rush yet. Texas could not run the ball. Alabama, I'd forgotten because of what a mess the end of the game was. Alabama ran the ball pretty well in the first quarter. Multiple RPOs, almost more than I realized in the stands. Alabama ran a lot of RPOs and had quite a bit of success. Again, we're not talking about raging success or Alabama would have scored more than 3 points, but it is notable that Texas on their 3 points, they get the ball at the Alabama 30. Alabama's 3 points drove the length of the field, primarily through plays in the run game. So, hey, you get off to a 3-3 start in the first quarter. I think to this point, Alabama's outplaying Texas, not by a lot, but like I said, a 10-9 kind of boxing decision. So far, I wouldn't say so far so good. Here's the best way to put it, Luke. So far, not terrible. So far, not terrible. Nothing. Even the offensive line. By the way, no penalties. Alabama committed no penalties in the first quarter.
Yeah, but they made up for that.
They did. They did. All the crap is to come. But the start wasn't bad. And I like the physicality and I like the game plan. We were a little more pass happy than I would have chosen. For instance, we're doing like RPOs, moving the ball. It's 1st and 10. Now we just drop back and do a pocket pass type thing. And I'm like, that was working. This is what we wanted to do, and it was working. Just do it till you can't do it 2 or 3 times in a row, but anyway.
Well, you're right about Clint Lamb because he had some tweets that were pretty interesting. He said, Tommy Rees started yesterday's game by calling a passing play on 3 of Alabama's first 4 first downs. That's 75% pass. Following Milroe's first INT, Rees called a run on 8 of the next 9 first downs, so about 90%, and didn't start calling passes again until the 2-minute drill. That makes it very, very predictable. And he says Alabama ran 16 plays of 2nd and 7 or longer, threw the ball on 75% of those, only ran 5 plays on 2nd and 6 or shorter. It's ran the ball 80% of that time. First of all, that's 3 times more failed first downs plays than successful. Secondly, that's way too predictable, made things very easy on Texas. That is a pretty stinging indictment of our new OC, if you ask me. Now, does it mean he's always going to be awful? No. It means he's probably learning the ropes too. But it does mean, look, when you take over the OC job at Alabama, you are typically handed the keys to a Ferrari. And so you need to treat it as such. It seems like he was using a Ferrari to do his Uber pickups. That's not what you want to do. But regardless, Jimmy, I'm going to go ahead right now and tell everybody about Birddogs because you know how I feel about Birddogs. I'm wearing Birddogs right now. And
I'm wearing them right now.
I got to make sure I don't show any skin.
I'm not going to show you, but I'm wearing them right now too. We're Birddog twins.
These are Birddogs. Right there. They're just Birddogs. They're just awesome. You need to go get you some. They sent me some joggers, and I love them. I didn't think I was going to like joggers. I love them. I mean, I just can't quit wearing all of them. Birddogs make you look and make you feel good. Birddog stretch khaki shorts are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and through the leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. Birddog shorts do the exact same thing as Lululemon, but fit way better. Trust me, I got some Lulus. They fit way better than regular shorts, and those are made of stiff, restricting cotton, not Birddogs. Birddogs fixed this issue by inventing cloud knit fabric that looks just like khaki but stretches so you get a way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice movement. Birddogs are functional for any occasion: golf, a date, evening out, pool, workout, lounging. I've done all this. I've gone on a date in them. I've played golf in them. I've gone on evening out. I've been to the pool, done a workout, all that stuff. Lounging, I'm doing that kind of right now. So go to birddogs.com/LockedOnCollege or enter promo code LockedOnCollege at checkout for a free Birddogs water bottle with your order. That's a birddogs.com/LockedOnCollege for a free water bottle at checkout. You won't want to take your Birddogs off. I promise you. And I do promise you. I mean it. I mean, I know what, I'm not going to. I promise you this time I'm telling the truth. That's how I need to let people know I'm not lying. Anyway, Jimmy, and as I need to put the Birdbog stuff up there for just a minute. But so now I want to issue an APB, all points bulletin, missing persons, put them on a milk carton.
Does that mean our iPhones are about to make really loud noises?
They should have made really loud noises about midway through the second last night. Where in the world? I've specifically got 2 people. CJ Dippre, Kendrick Law. Where are they? Where's our tight end action? Where's I guess I'll throw in Danny Lewis. Where is he?
Yeah, he played fewer snaps last night. We'll see what Clint's total breakdown is. Clint does a really good snap share story every week, and we'll see that. I'm doing the rewatch tomorrow or the next time out. I'm going to do the second quarter. Takes a while. It takes that for people that don't know it. I literally take 2 hours per quarter to do that work. So that's why I don't just sit down and knock it out. Now, CJ Dippre. He's played, and I think he's blocking fairly well. I have not seen CJ Dippre blown up or at all. I think he's playing and blocking. He has not been a significant target in the pass game yet, though his tight end mate, Amari Knobloch, certainly has been a big part of things. I'm guessing Dippre is maybe slightly fewer targets than we would have guessed, mostly due to why ever throw it to 81 when we can throw it to 84, right? So I get that. That's just my answer. Secondly, as far as Kendrick Law, he is playing. He's blocking his position really well. He's returning kicks, though he has yet to make a big play there. He has not been targeted as much as the other guys. And I want to say, in our last show, Luke, we didn't really get to it, but about bright spots. There were some, and we did highlight Burnip and Reichard, which they were great. But I think a significant bright spot, really, in my mind, was we had some explosive plays from the wideout spot. The wideouts were explosive and made big plays. I thought it was one of Jermaine Burton's best games ever, considering he had 2 touchdowns called back. It was one of Burton's best games. I thought Isaiah Bond is sort of turning the corner from young, promising player to a kid who delivers every week. And Malik Benson made a play or two in the game that was kind of a wow moment. And, of course, Amari Knobloch on that last touchdown that he scored, that was like all Amari Knobloch. That was really good. So I do think that's a bright spot because we've been bitching about that. I mean, the whole fan base, since we lost Metch and JMO, we've been going, we don't have outside playmakers. Okay, I think we do. I think we turn the corner at that spot. We just have to get a little more consistent getting them the ball, obviously.
A couple of things about that. Why did we go get CJ Dippre then? I mean, if we love Knobloch so much, I mean, I'm just wondering.
Yeah. Well,
why didn't we do something else?
Yeah, a couple things. Number one, I think adding CJ Dippre was the sign that, hey, we're serious about running the football. And to some extent we are. We're just not doing it that great. We did it okay in the first quarter of the Texas game. First quarter, it was okay. But we got CJ Dippre so we could get a tight end that could block. Amari Knobloch's problem last year was he just didn't show up with a body or physical strength that was capable of getting that spot blocked as good as it needs. And now he's added about 15 good pounds of upper body muscle. And while he's still not a great blocker, he's adequate enough to where we don't have to take him off the field. He's not a liability in the block game. So, and again, Knobloch kind of became this player during the spring. We took CJ Dippre back in January before the spring. Would we have still taken him? My answer is yes, because I think he's adding quite a bit as a blocker. But fans, we're not going to notice that as much as when they're.
Jimmy, either you're frozen or I'm frozen. There you go. One of us was frozen for a second. I wasn't sure which one it was. But anyway, here's what I thought. I had this. I should have said this in the first segment. When I was at the game last night, I had this thought that maybe this is going to be like a 2017/18 national championship game moment after halftime. Saban's going to go in there, lose his mind, and we're going to start playing a lot of freshmen. We're just going to say, screw it. We got to get some pressure. Keon Keeley, Yanzi Pierre. I'm throwing out names. I'm not
right.
giving, I'm trying something new. I'm like, hey, somebody go in there and make a play. I don't care who it is. We're going to switch up quarterbacks. We're going to find another receiver. We're going to Jalen Hill. We're going to try him out, see how that goes. Maybe throw it to him some more. We're going to do anything else. We're going to do something to shake the sugar tree, to quote Lori, what's her name? Lori Morgan. That's her. Isn't she a country music star that's like back on tour?
She is an old school country music star, and I'm aware of a handful of her songs, but that is a new one.
I think she sang the sugar tree. But I always thought that is What a euphemism.
Did you see this on Hee Haw?
No, it just she actually, like, she's on tour with like Pam Tillis or something, and I
Okay,
think
that's
they're going
pretty
to
cool.
every Outback Steakhouse in the Southeast and performing. So anyway, I've just heard a lot of commercials for it.
It's the
But
payphone tour.
I was really hoping that Saban would make some wholesale changes and get everybody geeked. I don't know if you heard this. I 100% heard it. When Milroe went back out there as the starting quarterback, I heard a smattering of boos.
All right.
I thought that was both terrible and warranted. Warranted in the sense that the fans don't have, when people say you shouldn't boo your players or whatever, I get it. I understand that, and you shouldn't. But the fans don't have any other way to say, hey, we've been here all day. You always say, let y'all get here and make it loud. That atmosphere was as good as it gets for Alabama. I mean, people were bragging on it. They had Vince Young there. They had Matthew McConaughey there. We had just dudes everywhere, celebrities everywhere. It was rambunctious. So when the fans get a little disappointed, I kind of get that too. It's expensive to go to a football game. And when everybody's like, we got to do something. I don't know what it is, but we need to know, we need to do something. Whatever we're doing is not working. And it felt like nothing ever changed. And that scares me. But we can talk about that more because there may be some change coming up, and we may talk about that. In fact, I think we will talk about that here in this third segment. But right now, I need to tell everybody about FanDuel. Oh, what a day on FanDuel it was with the NFL. Tua Tagovailoa going off. I can't wait to do the podcast for tomorrow. We always like to talk about our NFL alums. Tua went off. I got him on my fantasy team. Fired up about that. But you need to get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5, that's really anybody who signs up and does this, they get, what is the other thing to get? They get $100 off NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. And I watched it today, and I loved it. It was great. I thought it'd be complicated. It's not. I watched it on my phone, watched it on my computer and on my TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. The app is very easy to use, and you can bet on everything from spreads to player props and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel is the official partner of the NFL. And by the way, the FanDuel line for Alabama and South Florida is 31. So go get you some of that, because I think Alabama's going to, here's where I'm scared, Jimmy. I think Alabama's going to come and slap South Florida around in Tampa, and everybody's going to be like, why didn't we do that last week? Oh, at least we're back. Here we go. Man, we got a lot of problems, and I'm telling you, I'm not looking past South Florida. We're going to beat South Florida, but I'm not looking past them. I'm scared to death of the run of games where Ole Miss at home, at Mississippi State, at Texas A&M, Arkansas, and then Tennessee. That's a run, y'all. Mm-hmm. That's a run of teams that aren't probably as good as we are, but each one of them on some level is capable of beating us.
Yeah, after you play South Florida, you play 7 straight SEC games.
Yeah.
7 straight SEC games. And, I'm not saying this like forget that I'm about to say this, but to make the playoff or to win the SEC West, you're going to have to win all these games. I'm on board with the coaching staff this week. And I assure you what the coaching staff is doing based on what happened Saturday night, they don't care about anything in the world but beating South Florida. What do we need to do to improve so that we can beat South Florida and put the best team on the field we can put this week? And I'm on board with that. I don't like at this point looking ahead to, well, Ole Miss is a win and Arkansas is a win. I'm not sure we can beat Air right now. So let's just focus on getting better.
So having said all that, who takes the first snap against South Florida? My money's still on Jalen Milroe, but I'm not betting a lot, and I want some odds.
There's 2 answers to that. I mean, one is, are you asking me what the staff is going to do or what Jimmy would do? And those might not be the same answers.
I'm asking both.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be similar answers, frankly. I think that's
way to build up and then have a really
I build it up and then I'm like, but I'm going with conventional wisdom. No, I think it'll be Jalen Milroe, and it'll be for an answer that's going to drive everyone nuts, and everyone hates this answer. In terms of why do I think the staff will continue to start Jalen Milroe, or will start Milroe this week? Because Jalen Milroe gives Alabama the best chance to beat South Florida. And I know that sounds like coach speak or but that's the answer. That is the answer. Jalen Milroe gives Alabama the best chance to go on the road and win the game because he's now the most experienced guy in this offense. And we have seen him do some really good things. It's just a matter of minimizing and reducing the bad things. And that's only going to come with playing. He has now started 3 games in his whole collegiate life, kind of played 4, but 3 games, that's it. This is a really inexperienced player that's still inexperienced. So you got to give him more experience to shake this stuff out of him. Now, what Jimmy would do, I can't say that the staff is going to do that, but what I would do, I would shorten the leash considerably. I would be prepared to move on. And by that, I mean, Jimmy would start Jalen Milroe this week against South Florida because he gives us the best chance to win the game. But I'm going to take Milroe out in one of 2 situations. If Milroe starts the game and doesn't play well, and that's possible, it's on the road against an FBS football team. It is possible. If Jalen Milroe starts out and he's just not playing well, and you've played a quarter and a half of football and the offense is a mess, I would go with Buckner at that point. I would. Secondly, let's say Jalen does come out and he does play well against an overmatched opponent and Alabama looks much better and gets a big lead. I would still take Milroe out earlier than you did against Middle Tennessee. I want some real snaps for the number 2 guy. And if y'all are telling me it's Buckner, then it's Buckner. But I want to see him earlier. I want to see him at 31-0. I don't want to wait till it's 42 or 49-0. I need Buckner to get some snaps this weekend because against Ole Miss the next week, I may need Buckner to win the game. And garbage time against South Florida is not going to do it. So that's what Jimmy would do. But Nick Saban's not going to ask me, and it's a good thing he's not because I'm an idiot. Yeah, exactly. I mean, because I'm an idiot. He doesn't need to ask me, but people listen to the show and they might want to know my opinion. But that's what I would do. But in terms of, I think the staff is going to handle it like it's still Jalen Milroe until it's not Jalen Milroe. One other quick point to make. And again, this may bother to a lot of people. They're not going to care about this. And maybe Luke didn't care about this. And if you don't care about that, that's fine. I'm just dead set against this. If you bench Milroe and take him out and you go with Buckner or Simpson or whatever you're going to do, he's leaving. Not now. He won't. He's a good kid. He's going to wait till the portal, but he's leaving. So in other words, when you give up on Jalen Milroe, you will not have Jalen Milroe. And I'm not going to be mad at the kid. The kid wants to play. I get it. So just know that, hey, you're not putting him on the bench for a few minutes or a few snaps. Once you bench Jalen Milroe, welcome to 2023. There is a new reality. You have given up on his career at Alabama. And in my opinion, and I might be the only person on this island, I think he's too talented to say today are going to be good. I'm not saying that today. Y'all might, but I'm not saying that about a sophomore that just made his 3rd start. I'm not ready to give up, but I'm shortening the leash for sure.
Well, here's one caveat I'd add to what everything. I agree with everything you're saying. When we put Buckner or Simpson or Lonergan or Holstein in and they say, okay, it's 31-0, 8 minutes to go, 3rd quarter, and you put Buckner in, let's go Buckner. He better have the playbook.
Yeah, run the offense.
Run the offense. Now, be smart. Don't just chuck it up a bunch of times. But, I mean, he's got to be able to get into the field.
Agreed. We have priority. I never want to embarrass the other team. I know Coach doesn't. I don't want to either. I don't want to embarrass anybody out there, but we have a problem and we got to address it. And it's best addressed in the games and not on the practice field. So I'm with you, Luke. I would go, again, this is Jimmy talking. I'm not predicting it to work this way, but what I would do is once we get a significant lead, Milroe would come out and Buckner would play with the whole playbook. because I got to get Buckner ready to come in against Ole Miss, because Milroe, I think, lost his long leash, in my opinion. That's how I would look at it. But again, I want to reiterate one of the things I did right after the game, when we did the first show post game. If we don't block better, we don't run the ball better, we don't play defense better, it doesn't matter who we put in a quarterback. It doesn't matter. You can't win. You can't win if you don't.
I go back to what I've been saying all summer. Doesn't matter if Milroe is an Adonis. Doesn't matter if J.C. Latham is projected to be in the first 10 picks, or Dallas Turner is, or Kool-Aid is, or whatever. If we ain't got an alpha out there telling everybody get off your dead butt and start making some plays happen, and I don't see one. Yep. Still, we're 2 games deep. I don't see a Jonathan Allen getting in somebody's face. I don't see a Deron Payne getting in somebody's face, a Reuben Foster, or Rolo. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I rarely say it, Luke, but today would have been an interesting day to be in the building.
Yep.
Today would have been an interesting day. I want to know are they mad? Are they determined? Or was it quiet? I mean, I think all of those things could mean something, but
because I'm going to tell you, Jimmy, I'm sure you saw this. I don't really know what to feel. I know Amari Knobloch apparently had some kind of Instagram live feed, and he was sort of dancing and doing his thing, and he got really excited that he got 170 live followers or something. And it rubbed some people the wrong way, because it was pretty much right after the game, and everybody's like, "Why are you dancing?" Now, let's say that he's 18, 19, 20 years old, and they probably shake it off a lot easier than we, the fans, do. They don't have to deal with all the message board crap. But I still, it rubs me the wrong way. Call me a boomer if you want to. That's fine. I'd feel myself to be a little bit more liberal in that regard, but I'm just like, hey, if you want to get an Instagram live going, can you just wait till the next day? Because in my mind, you're taking this as seriously as I am. Yeah. And so when I see that you're not, I'm like, well, then why am I taking it seriously?
Yeah, it's really more of a PR problem than a Knobloch problem.
Exactly.
I'm always struck by, and when I was back a lawyer, remembering lawyer things, in the code of ethics for judges, that's different than lawyers. Lawyers are supposed to avoid impropriety. Judges are supposed to avoid, per the rules of ethics, the appearance of impropriety. And to me, Amari dancing after the game, it's more the appearance. It's not that you're doing that's really horrible, but you probably should have not been on Instagram doing it.
I'll end with a quick Luke Robinson story that came to mind. I may have told it on here before.
As long as it's not a video of you dancing.
No, it is not. When I was going to show the Gus Malzahn breakdance. You remember that? No, but when I was younger, I was like in 7th grade, and I was really fat. Like, I have a whole story about the warm-ups that I had to wear. I mean, I could tell you a lot of things, but anyway, I was pretty chunky, and I was not good at basketball, but our coach did not believe in cutting anybody. So our basketball team had approximately 45 players on it. That's too many players on a basketball team.
Not everybody was getting minutes. There's a lot of kids entering that portal because they weren't getting minutes.
And I was one. I mean, later in life, I got pretty good, but at the time I was terrible, like really bad. And he put me in the game. And it was one of those things, I didn't need to be in the game, but he put me in the game, and he put me in the game at a time when it was kind of serious, like for 7th grade basketball. And I got fouled, and I went to the free throw line, and I missed both my foul shots. We ended up losing by 3 or 4 or whatever. I don't know. And I was really down about it, because those are only shots I probably took all year. I was really down about it. And I get in the car, and my brother, who's 5.5 years younger than me, he gets in the car, and everybody's sort of buckling up, and it's awkward silence. And my brother Austin goes, "Luke, why'd you miss those free throws?" Like, he asked it in a very serious way, not trying to be mean. But my grandfather, I remember it very distinctly. My grandfather looked in the back. He had a pipe, and he took it out, and he goes, "Son, I'm going to have to talk to you a little bit about timing." And that's what I feel like my grandfather should look at Amari Knobloch and say, "Son, you can boogie down on Instagram Live all you want to, but let's talk about timing of the boogieing down." So, anyway, that's going to do it for today's episode. We will be back tomorrow, and until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll Tide.